Welcome, welcome, race fans. Are we on? Are we on? Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Yes, we are live. Welcome, everybody. This is Ron with Bigg Wizurd TV. We are live racing here at Circuit of the Americas, known as COTA. We have Procraft Formula One Series racing tonight. We've got 12 drivers on the track. Our drivers have dwindled, but today they're at the track. Christian Bishop down at the racetrack in Texas. Austin, Texas is the site, and Formula One racing is the action. So a couple of our drivers down there watching the actual F1 race this weekend, and we do not have them here on the track in iRacing with us tonight. This is Ron with Bigg Wizurd TV. We're sponsored by Procraft, and Bigg Wizurd TV is sponsored by Stair Fittings Incorporated. What is going on with my slideshow? Is it not playing? Play. You just have to kick it. You have to say play. And look at that. It plays. All right. We are running again here this Thursday night with Formula One racing action here at COTA. Let's take a look at the track as we get started. Let's see, we've got a viewer out there. Let me know who you are. Let me know what you're up to. And we'll make sure we include you in what's going on. Let's make this a hair smaller first, just to get you a little more of the screen. Yeah, I don't need to be that big. Wow, what do I need to be that big for? Oh, scare everybody. That's my job. There we go. Okay, that might work. Where's my stuff here? Here we go. All right, now you get a little more of the action. A little more of the action, a little less of big guy here in the corner. But thanks for tuning in. Let's go check the track out, and then we'll talk a little bit about the drivers and the car. What do we got here? COTA. This is COTA. Here we are. This is Circuit of the Americas. And this is treacherous. We're looking at, we've got 20 turns here. This thing was made for Formula One. This track was made specifically to race Formula One cars. And if you look at that those outlines and those curves, you'll see that this is just brutal. It's a very difficult racetrack to run. It is 2.3 miles long, 20 turns. There is a very large elevation change. 75 feet up turn one. It is pretty amazing. Quite the racetrack. And we do have 2 DRS zones tonight for the Formula One cars. The long straight, which is the backstretch where the arrows are. There's 3 arrows on the racetrack, but only one of them is a DRS zone. Sorry, the one at the front of the long curve straightaway there. That one is a DRS zone. As well as the front start-finish line will be a DRS zone tonight. So 2 zones where they can lower that rear wing and rocket down the straightaway with less resistance. 20 turns, like I said, and this one is challenging at the least. I mean, to say the least. This is probably one of the most challenging courses to stay on track and not go off at all of any of the racetracks out there. So far tonight here in the practice session, Eric Heater and Luke Peters from Eric Heater Racing on the top of the pylon for practice. We've still got about 8 or 9 minutes left in the practice session. It says 8:53. I'll give you a little heads up on where things are, where you can find them yourself, and that might help you locate what's going on. Top left, our racetrack. That is an overhead view of the track with the little circles on there being the car numbers and where the cars are. Now, since we are running in 1440p 2K broadcast, you should be able to see those on your screen and make out the little numbers where the cars are. The car numbers are next to the driver names on the right-hand side. That's the standings list. Our standings list shows the drivers in practice just by their lap times. Also in qualifying, it'll be by their lap times. And then in the race itself, it'll have their positions. during this during the race, we'll see lots of different things going up and down in there through the standings. And the white names are the names on the same lap, which in practice and qualifying, everyone's on the same lap. But in the race, the colors will change up here on the top right. The lap down cars will turn blue. The drivers' names will turn blue. And if I'm looking at the car, this particular car, which is Luke Peters, if a car to him is a lap ahead, it'll be red. A lap behind, it'll be blue. It's always in relative location of the driver we're looking at. The driver we're looking at is always in that orangish, yellowish color. So hopefully that'll help identify the drivers and their numbers and their positions here in the top right. Scrolling next to the top right, you'll see a variety of screens and information. During the race, it'll be more. But right now, you see tire compounds, the gap between the times of the drivers. You also see their fastest lap, their last lap. You can see the relative distance in the racetrack when they're racing, the distance between the drivers, time-wise and position-wise. All that information will be popped up through there. The orange box with the black letters in it, that tells you when they pit, which corresponds down below with the relative screen telling you when they pit as well. But there, it actually tells you how long they spent in the pits. Gives you a little idea when they're in the pit lane how long they're there. Now, they don't have to go in for repairs, so they're lucky with that. The drivers here in the Procraft Formula 1 series use what they call self-healing damage, which means they hit the wall, they're definitely going to lose track time because they're off track and into the wall, spinning across the grass or gravel. But when they hit the wall, the car repairs itself, and as long as the car's not stuck in the fence or upside down or some other way that they cannot continue, then the car just fixes itself and away they go. So it's not that bad because they can keep driving. It does keep the racing more active. We do have... we're starting to get a pretty good field tonight. I have a feeling tonight we might see a first-time winner. Although, as I'm looking at this chart, the top 5 drivers, 2 of them, the top 2 actually, have already won, and they are ahead by a good margin in the practice session. The half-second gap between Eric and Luke, both with 1 win each this season, and both in the historic F1 car. Brandon Dooley has a victory as well. He had a victory there at the Fuji Motor Speedway in Japan a couple weeks ago. Morgan Teggy, Kelly Bishop, Chris Springer, Josh Lowe, Will Edwards, Landon Paternos, all looking for their first victory, and you can guarantee those guys are going to be on it. Now, one of the things that they will be doing tonight as they drive around, everybody's in the same car. This is the car. This is the Mercedes W12 Formula 1 car from 2021. This is the car that Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen went toe-to-toe all the way to the final race of the last season in the 2021 championship. This is the car that brought 7 championships to Lewis Hamilton, the driver that tied for the most championships out there in Formula 1. Whether you like it or not, whether it was monetary or not, he still did it. He's still out there, and he's still running this year in the new 2022, which is the W13, which we do not have in iRacing. But we do have the W12. Now, if you notice on here, the car's spinning around. We've got the yellow compound tires on the car. Those are the mediums. Those are the yellow stripes, the medium tires. This is the 13-inch rim. They've changed it in 2022 to an 18-inch rim. The tires and the car look very different in 2022, and it makes for some great competition. We've been seeing some awesome action in F1 this year, a lot more than we did last year, in my opinion. But this is the car. Yellow compound's a medium compound tire. You'll see 3 different compounds here. We're running the red compound, which is what you see here on Will Edwards' car. That's Will Edwards there in the black and red car. Red sidewalls, that's soft compound tires. White sidewalls, those are the hard compound tires. And then the mediums are the yellows. Now, during the race, at some point, they have to change tires. There's Luke doing some laps in the yellows. They do have to change tires somewhere during the race, so they have to change compounds. Let me make sure I'm on. I'm on. I've done all this before where I've made mistakes. And I'm like, I better check that since I'm sitting here by myself. I don't have any of you awesome fans out there talking to me on the chat. But, you know, if you're out there, drop me a note there on Bigg Wizurd TV. Just drop me a note there and I'll let you know what's going on. Maybe I already am and you don't have any notes. I don't know. But, all right, we're getting ready to race. We've only got a couple minutes left in the practice session. We'll jump into qualifying. Let's go find out who these drivers are, and then we'll talk a little bit about the racetrack. If you want to know about the race, about Procraft Formula 1, that's not a good thing. 2 Leagues. 2leagues.com is the website. 2leagues.com. It was just there earlier, and now it's having trouble going there. Huh. Interesting. Oh, maybe I ought to spell it right. You know, if you spell the websites right, it works better. Let's see. Formula 1 statistics, media, teams, and drivers. Let's go through who we're racing with. Space Sheep Racing. That's Kelly Bishop. He's out there missing his teammate this week. Christian is not on the racetrack with him. Red Bull Racing, Josh Edwards, Josh Lowe, and Will Edwards. Josh is definitely on track. Will is also with us tonight on track in the 888. He's in the pits currently. Josh in the 18, out on track trying to improve. He's right now 7th position. Those guys are Red Bull Racing. Alfa Romeo Racing, Chris Tartamella, he is moving, like physically moving, and cannot be here tonight. So wishing him well. All the best to Chris out there, and hopefully he can tune in and watch some of the race tonight. Yanni Butler is his teammate at Alfa Romeo, and Yanni is also missing in action tonight. Harry Lama Racing, Brandon Dooley, Chris Springer, both of those guys are here, and they are itching for a victory. Brandon, after winning at Fuji, is ready to go, wants to get another one. These guys have like near 2,000, 2,100 I rating. These guys are solid drivers. Christian Bishop, 2250. He's one of the higher ones. However, we've got Morgan Teggy out there in the 88 with his teammate Adam Novotny. Now, Adam is on vacation, visiting the mountains of southern Utah, hopefully having a blast. And I don't know that he can tune in tonight, but his teammate, Morgan, also just gunning for a victory. He was 3rd last week. He was 2nd the week before. Morgan with a 3250 I rating. Very, very good driver. And Adam Novotny, his teammate in Rust Belt Racing. Scudiera, Pecore, Spaziale, Theo, and Andrew Huddleston. I don't see those guys on track tonight. Oh, Andrew's here. Andrew's here, and he's sporting the flag, keeping the colors up. Here we go. We're going to start our qualifying session. Practice is over. Let's see how they run, as Morgan is the first one out on the racetrack, jumping up the hill and getting his first laps in. Let's go to the race camera. Morgan, Will, Luke, Josh, Todd, Kelly, everybody diving out of the pit lane. It's a big track, and there's only 13 drivers. They got plenty of room. But again, you only have like 16 minutes or 15 minutes on the clock. So you can't waste too much time. But as you can see by the tire compounds, all the top 7 drivers on track are all running in those red compounds. Now, it's not like real Formula 1 where you only get so many tires, so many sets of tires. They can run as many sets of tires as they want. They do have to change compounds during the race, but during qualifying they can run reds, and then during the race they can run reds, or they can do yellows and yellows. It doesn't matter. But it looks like a couple of the guys have opted for the yellow compound, the medium compound tire for qualifying. Maybe it's more stable. Maybe they feel better in that tire. We're going to find out as the times will be coming in here in just a couple minutes. It's about 2 minutes around in a GT car, so probably about a... Whoa! Oh, little contact there on the warm-up lap. It's a purple car. I believe that may have been Kelly Bishop. Anyway, we'll keep going down the track here. Andrew Huddleston in the 65, Eric Heater Motorsports. Both of these guys are here, and they are both digging for a win. They're in the bright blue car. You can see one of them right there. That's Luke Peters in the 28. Oh, no, Luke Peters in the 50 with his teammate Eric Heater in the 28. That's Eric Heater Motorsports. Eagle Race Team, Vincent Tramontana and Phil. His name's too long to fit on the screen. I don't know how to say the last part of it. So sorry, Phil. Sorry about that, buddy. But he's not on the racetrack, so I can't pull him up and look at it to see what it is. Neither one of those guys have made it tonight. Eagle Race Team missing tonight's race. Team VR Fossey, Landon Paternos, and Jason Chess. Both these guys are out here. I've seen both of these cars already. These guys have the red and white painted for our Mercedes. Yeah, better not say Ferrari. They'd kick me right off iRacing, wouldn't they? Zero Fox Given. That is Bob Wallace in the 666. He is not on track tonight. Skylar Vickery, his teammate, is out here. We'll see where these guys land as the lap time should be starting to come in now. It's the first driver, Chris Springer, should be coming around, finish up lap number 1. We'll see how these guys do. I'm guessing the first guy across will have the fastest lap. Just my humble opinion. Daewoo Racing Development, Steve Banting, Ed Smith. I'm not seeing these guys out here tonight, so they are also missing the competition. They've gone plaid, Todd Schwartz and Sean Williams. These guys are out here running. Autism Speaks is their sponsor, and Todd is on track tonight in the 420. You can see him right there. That's really cool that it popped up right there when I'm talking about it. Team Audi Davidson, Jim Hart, Barnhart, and Mark McCassell. I do not see these guys out here. They're missing the action tonight. That is the groups and the teams. So far, Morgan with the top spot. Will Edwards 1 second behind. They got their 15-minute clock working down. We've only got 11 minutes left. Now, if you want to know what's going on with the times, let me go through the screen again. In the standing screen, top right, on the top of that, it tells you the session, time, and elapsed time of that session. So right now it's qualifying, so the queue's up there. We're 4 minutes and 11 seconds and counting in the session of a 15-minute session. So there you go. There's just over 10 minutes to go in that session. On the bottom, you've got quite a bit more information surrounding the relative screen. Top left of that screen in the bottom right corner is the track temp. Then on the top middle, you got the time of day, and then the top right is the last lap time of that driver when they complete a lap. Now, right now, we're watching Jason Chess, who doesn't have a time yet, so there you go, no time. Qualifying time remaining, the time remaining of the session, qualifying, 10 minutes, 7 seconds, and what lap we're on. Now, the laps during qualifying represent how many laps you could go if you were able to run constantly the whole time. These guys get to go 9.2 laps. They do get to complete the last lap they're on, so they could effectively get 10 laps in if they put enough fuel in to go 10 laps and ran it out with a set of tires and just ran 10 laps. But most of the time, what you'll see is these guys will go out for a quick lap. They'll go slow on their warm-up, then they'll nail a lap, and then they will either go slow or come in the pits and get another set of tires and try it again. Only giving themselves enough fuel to make that lap, because that's all they need to complete the lap. The first lap on the tires is going to be your best lap, and once that lap is done, you can just reset the car back to the pits and do it again. As you can see right here, watching Morgan go down the front straight, you can see there's that rear wing just shut closed down the front stretch as he opened DRS. DRS allows the cars a few more horsepower. They've opened that back wing, and that allows them to have less drag on the car, making them thus faster. So very exciting to watch them and watch everything they run. There's another thing you can't see, the MGKU, they call it. It's a battery system that runs to give the car more power. Now, the reason they're going to run that first lap slow is because they don't want to use up any of that battery. They're going to go nice and easy, warm up the tires a little bit on that out lap, and when they hit their go lap, they are gone. They want to go as fast as they possibly can and get that quick time down, and use up every ounce of everything they can. So they're going to use all the battery. They're going to use, all the tires. They're going to use everything they can use to get as much grip and as much speed. They're going to use DRS. They're going to use everything given to them, everything available to get the fastest lap possible. And that is what, so far, Morgan Teggy has done better than anybody else. Provisional polls so far, but still 8 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Morgan has used 2 sets of tires, 1 lap on the first set, 1 lap on the second. You can see on the tire screen how many laps they run on each set, and then they change their tires. Now, those are successful laps, not warm-up laps. So those are actually counted laps. That's what shows in the little circle with the tire color around it. And Morgan and Chris, actually all these guys in the top 7 so far that have times, have all been running on the soft compound tires. Now you can see Eric Heater warming up, slowing down there before he starts his lap. He's going to try to get a nice gap, and then we'll see him go. Maybe we can watch him go around. Looked like he was just about to get started on his lap. Here he goes, DRS open down the front straight. Going up that hill. Boy, you really can't tell how big that hill is, but there he goes up that hill into turn 1. Takes that a little wide. Let's see if we can go roll bar here. Roll bar cam. Watching Eric Heater do a lap here in qualifying. Let's hope this is a hot one. He does not have a lap yet. You cannot go off track during qualifying. If you miss a corner just a little bit and you get an off track penalty on that lap, it does not count for qualifying. You've got to be perfect on qualifying. And because the way it works is you need to use all the track possible to get the best possible time. The wider your corner, the faster your corner can be. So these guys are going to throw down the fastest lap possible, and they're going to go right to the edge every time. Oh, he locks him up coming into turn 12. Oh, and he spins. That's what you get. You push the envelope just too far, and around he goes. He will reset back to the pits and try it again, but he is running out of time as we've got 6 minutes left in the qualifying session. Oh, that's going to be rough for Mr. Heater. Last week's winner and dominant racer at Long Beach. Hey, if you're out there in TV land on your computer, check these guys out. Let's see if I can find it. Grandpa'sKitchen.com. These guys are awesome. Grandpa's Kitchen is the Bigg Wizurd TV sponsor this year for 2022. These guys have gluten-free products. If you are gluten-free, know someone else that is, know somebody with celiac disease, anything like that, these guys are awesome. You can get 10% off with discount code BWTV. That's Bigg Wizurd TV. That's me. You can get that discount every time you shop. It's not just a one-time discount. So use it up. Get that discount. Grandpa'sKitchen.com. They make mixes and flours and all different kinds of things that you can use for baking, and it's all gluten-free. And I'm telling you what, it tastes great. I know these guys personally. I'm good friends with them. I eat the stuff all the time, and I love it. I love it. I just had some, I don't know what they were, brownie cookie type things that she made, and they were delicious. It was really like a cookie type brownie. It was pretty intense, but it was really good. And hey, if you have any needs for your stairs, if you need to put new stairs in your house, if you need to put just new stair treads, if you need new handrails, if you need new balusters and handrails, if you want everything or just one part, these guys are the place to go. Orders.stairfittings.com. These guys are the best. Best quality, best customer service, best people out there. Orders.stairfittings.com. One of the primary sponsors for Bigg Wizurd TV. They're the reason I'm here on the air. Hopefully they tune in and watch the show every once in a while. I know they race with us on Sunday nights and Thursday nights. Great people, great products. I've got a couple sets of stairs myself in my own home from stairfittings.com, from Stair Fittings Inc., and they are high quality stuff. Nothing but the best at Stair Fittings. Call them up, tell Karen that Bigg Wizurd sent you. She'll take care of you, as she would anyway. But if you tell her Bigg Wizurd sent you, she'll know I sent you. And that's worth something. All right, guys, here we go. We're getting ready to race. We've got just a couple minutes, 3 minutes, 20 seconds left in the qualifying session. Morgan Tegge's still on provisional pole, 1 full second ahead of Chris Springer and Luke Peters as they're out there trying. Josh Lowe really quick out here. Can he get up there into the top 1, top 2? They want that pole position. They want to start out front. Clean air, clean track. That's where everybody wants to start from. These are standing starts races, so it definitely matters who's in front of you. And if the answer is nobody, then you're going to be doing a lot better. Morgan out front, Chris Springer on the outside front row, Luke Peters, Will Edwards on row 2, Josh Lowe row 3. Oh, Brandon comes around. He's trying to get that extra couple seconds. I don't think he'll have enough time now. It's a couple minutes, minute and a half around, and there's only 2 minutes left in the session. He might have enough time if he boogies out quick. He might get a lap in and get back out there for a hot lap. We'll see if he tries it. Morgan still holding the point. Chris Springer, Luke Peters, Will Edwards, Josh Lowe. There's your top 5. 1.9 seconds, the gap between first and fifth. 2 minutes left in the qualifying session. Here goes Kelly Bishop. He'll have to hustle around on his outlap, and then he might be able to cross the line before the time expires. Now, if you start your lap before the time expires, your lap will count. So it's not just a minute and 45 seconds left. They get a minute and 45 plus the last lap that they're on. But if the line comes up first, if you miss that start-finish line, then that is it. There's currently, I would say, up to Kelly Bishop, and that is it. I mean, these laps will count for the 78 and 65, but if they're out laps, they will not make it. Here goes Skyler coming around one more time for his chance. He's on his 3rd set of tires. Let's check him out as we go here in the number 12 car. Can he put down a lap? Skyler Vickery. Jason Chess just throws one down, but not a great one. But because he has a lap time starting in the top 10, he starts ahead of 4 drivers. We're up to 16. Nope, we're up to 14 now on the track. Andrew Dejean joined us late, but he is on track running some qualifying times. See if he can get in there. 11 drivers so far with times. Morgan Tegge's still up on top. Chris Springer, Luke Peters looks like they're in a battle to see who gets that 2nd spot. But they are done. The time is running out. We've got 36 seconds to go. Wow, the track temp is high. Austin, Texas is the place. 117 degrees is the temp. As we watch Skyler trying to get a lap in. He's pretty quick usually. Has not had a clean lap yet in qualifying. If you have a problem with anything at all here, you'll get an off track. Clean laps, you can't even buy them here at COTA. You've got to be careful. You got to drive on your tippy toes and not hit any of those outside boundaries. It is definitely a challenge. I've raced here in many different kinds of cars, and these F1 cars are fun to race and fun to watch. We'll see if he can do it. He's got a couple more corners to see if he... Oh, he goes wide there. That may have done it. Does he get a time, or did he lose it right there on the... Oh, it looks like he lost it on the last corner. Oh, and does not get a time. Time is up. The session is over. The laps will count. As we now have a couple drivers left. Here's Jason Chess trying to improve his time. And does not. Let's see, the 28 and the 69 finishing them up. Eric Heater, he might have the pole. He was quickest in the practice session. Oh, let's see. He's blipping out on us. He's coming around that final corner down the front straight. Will he get it? He throws out the DRS to get the time, and he goes. Only 9th fastest, 136.5, 132.6. As Eric shows his utter delight at the end of his lap. Here comes Kelly Bishop trying to improve and does not. Finishes in 7th place, 2.5 seconds. So Morgan Tegge, Chris Springer are going to take the track first. They are going to be our front row. Morgan Tegge grabs the pole. He wants to follow this up with a win. 132.6 on the Reds, low fuel for him. That is impressive. We'll see if he can do that throughout the race. As we line them up, qualifying is going to be over here in just about 40 seconds or sooner. Sometimes it clicks through if everybody else hits their button. It jumps right off to line them up. So we'll see what we've got. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Circuit of the Americas, made in 2012 as a Formula One racetrack. 20 corners, like I said, FIA grade 1. This is the best as it gets. I mean, this is really complex. Let's see what we got for info. Austin, Texas in the U.S., the home of the Formula One Grand Prix, U.S. Grand Prix. However, now they got some competition. There were 2 Formula One races this weekend in F1, and there was also a Miami Grand Prix. So they're getting some more. Come on, guys. Come on. Why are we looking at pit lane? Let's go. They got to be out there on the racetrack. There they are. I knew they were out there. I knew they were. My broadcast screen was like, nope, they're not there. They're not there. Yes, they are. Okay, as we get going here, we'll take a wide angle shot here from the back. We'll get the start from the back this time. Watching them climb up the hill. We got a few drivers left to line up. They usually get about 2 minutes or so to get lined up. This is a standing start. Morgan, Teggy, Chris Springer out there in the front. There they are. Morgan's out in the front in the white and blue car with the purple wing. Chris Springer on the left with the purple and green car. We'll see who gets the jump as they get started. We'll see the flag pop up, I think, unless my flags are messed up. That would be cool to turn those on. Flags. No, you're not going to show me? Not going to show me flags? Show me the flags. Show me the flags. Maybe I can get them over on the screen as we start. They're lined up. They're ready to go. We're just waiting for the countdown. Lights are on. They'll go off and we'll go green. Here we go. There they go. The green is out. And Morgan gets a great start. Chris Springer spins the tires just slightly. Morgan jumps away. Oh, we got an incident in the back, and that's going to take a couple cars back. Now, like I said, they do have damage healing on, so that's going to help. But, wow, that really put Chris Springer back. That dropped him back to 9th position off that bad start. He spun the tires, got collected, and pushed to the back. Morgan Teggy takes the lead. He is out in the front already. Josh Lowe in tow, right behind him. Followed by Luke Peters, Brandon Dooley, Kelly Bishop, Skylar Vickery, and Eric Heater are the top 7 as they come around through the hairpin for the first time. Josh gets a great run. Oh, but there goes Morgan. Josh does not have DRS yet. The DRS line was right there. They just passed it, but you can see those wings are closed. As all they get to use now is the draft. Does he have enough? Here comes Josh Lowe diving down the inside. He goes deep on the brakes and spins. Morgan Teggy takes the corner at a better angle. Josh Lowe turns it and loses it from the lead, but here comes Luke Peters challenging Morgan on the outside through the tight infield section. Morgan hanging on. Now these guys have started. Hey, there's Christian. Christian, welcome to the race, buddy. Wish you were out there. Morgan is in the lead. Luke Peters alongside. They're both starting on those medium compound tires, and they do have to change. So depending on how long those tires are going to last, we have got mediums, and they'll probably go to softs if they can get those tires to last about 2/3 distance. Chris Springer battling back up through the field, gets back up to P5, going through the corner there as they cross the start-finish line. Chris has come back a little bit. Yeah, Kelly's up there. He's moving it, man. He's moving it. He's right there. He has not lost touch with the leaders, but telling you what, right now, Luke Peters looks to be hot. He looks to be really fast tonight. And Morgan is clean as a whistle, man. He just... Everybody got around. They were tight coming around on that first lap, and Morgan just held him off with clean racing. Let Josh go by going into the hairpin there at turn 12, and Morgan just drove it right. Oh, a little almost contact there. Luke Peters climbing right up to the back. Chris Springer gets by Kelly Bishop for 4th. Sorry, Christian. But those guys swapping spots already, as we're kind of watching the leaders here for a minute. This battle up front is intense. So Brandon Dooley, Chris Springer now 3rd and 4th. Chris started out front, but I'm telling you what, Luke is trying everything he can here. I think we're going to start. I think if he pulls up alongside, he might throw the kitchen sink at him. He's got everything going here. We'll see if he can hold him off. Morgan trying to do his best to stay out front. Last lap around at the speed trap, Luke at 192 and Morgan at 189. So Luke has the speed. Now this is a start. We're coming across the start-finish line now to start lap 3. This will be DRS time next time around. When they hit the backstretch, Luke is going to have DRS, and that is going to change it. If he's within a second right now, he's within 5/10, 6/10 of a second. If he stays within 1 second at the line when they go across the stripe at the hairpin in turn 11, then he will have DRS going down that long straightaway. So Morgan is going to do everything he can, but Luke is going to try his best to stay tight and keep within that 1 second gap. Now, it works for every car in line. So anybody within 1 second of another car as they come across the count line, which they're coming up to right about now, there it is. If they're within 1 second, and Luke was, then when they get to the next stripe on the track, which is coming up now, almost, there it is, then Luke will get DRS, and you can see his wing is open, and he is trying to gain 3/10 back. He's going to be pulling in 2/10. Will he have enough this time? He's looking on the inside. He's got that gap. But no, not enough. And decides the wiser to back off. And Morgan takes the corner cleanly. But I can tell you what, Luke is going to be pushing. And he does really well through this center section. Now, these guys can set up the cars however they want, which means the cars are identical, but you can change. You can obviously change tire compounds. You can change angles, cambers. You can change gear ratios. You can change anything you can imagine that you can change. You can change in this car, whether it's downforce, wing angles, the amount of fuel they put in it. But you do have to have all the fuel in at the kick, at the go. You can't put fuel in during the race. So if you didn't get enough in at the start, sorry, you're not going to have enough to finish. You can't put more in. Morgan holds him off one more time as they come through the S's. Now these turns are treacherous. These turtles, if you see these little yellow turtles as they go around these corners, they are absolutely brutal. If you hit one of those with your car, you can flip an F1 car hitting one of those turtles. Now here's Luke trying to get the angle. Brandon is right on the back of Luke. This is going to be a DRS train down the straightaway. We'll flip it over to Brandon's car. You can see DRS open on Brandon, DRS open on Luke. They're both trying to get by. Into the corner. Down goes Luke and takes the inside. And that is a pass for the lead over Morgan Teggy. Luke could be the faster of the two here. We'll see. He's usually pretty quick in this section, but man, Morgan is definitely not going to just roll over and give it up. Oh, and Luke goes wide, way wide on the exit of that turn 12, or that turn 14. We'll see if that was a slowdown. If that was a slowdown, he's going to have to give that time back, and that'll allow Morgan to gain. Here goes Morgan cutting down. Nice corner right before the start-finish line with DRS now in Morgan's favor. But too far back, way too far back. 4/10, 3/10 up the hill. Not going to be enough, and these guys have now pulled away slightly from Brandon, who's now almost 2 seconds back from the lead. Let's see what else is going on in the race. We've got, like I said, Luke Peters, Morgan Teggy up front, Brandon Dooley. Kelly Bishop just got by Will Edwards. That was for P5 on the racetrack. Let's see if we can find Kelly. Maybe check that replay. Maybe can we do that? Can we do? Hey, booth guy, can we try that? Let's see if we can watch it. This is Kelly. Oh, he'd already made the pass. Well, that was helpful. Thanks, replay guy. Thanks a lot. Well, now I understand the story. My apologies, replay guy. My apologies. Here's the battle. Kelly's out in the front. He's coming around through the infield section. And as he gets to the line, Will actually gets by. So this is not Kelly passing for fifth. This is Will trying to get by. And we can watch the action here as it unfolds. Will with a great run towards the start-finish line, but then Kelly regains the spot and gets it back. See, there's the turn-in from Will. But Kelly with the really good angle and a little bit of a bobble coming around that corner from Will. Kelly regains that spot. What a great move by Kelly, staying in P5. However, Eric has caught and passed Kelly. Will Edwards has dropped back. So let's get back to live. We need to get back to live. This might take a minute. Okay, here we are. Hey, look, there's Luke Peters out in front now, 0.2 of a second, which, like, that's a lot of time. As Morgan goes side by side down. Oh, and there he goes down into the hairpin. And Morgan, I believe, is the one that's going to have DRS here. He does, and that's like insult to injury. Morgan gets by going into the hairpin right after the DRS line, takes the DRS down the straightaway to pull away from Luke Peters in second. What a move. Morgan gets out to a 1 second gap with that one. That was beautiful. That was amazing. Good timing. You know, the broadcaster did a really good job there on finding the action when it needed to be on the screen. That was pretty good, if I must say so myself. And I did. So, hey. All right, we're going to check out what's going on with Luke. There's Luke. Let's go to Eric. Eric is in a battle here with Brandon Dooley. I believe Eric just made this pass. Let's find out, replay guy. Here he is. With DRS down the long straight. Gets a run around the outside, around to the inside, completes the pass before the DRS shuts down and makes it into P4. Eric Heater, that's Luke Peters' teammate, getting ahead of Brandon Dooley, putting him to P5. Let's go back to the full action here. Let's go back to live racing as we watch Brandon back up to Morgan. Back to Brandon. Boy, the camera can't decide what it wants to do. Brandon's got a good run on Eric here. He's got DRS. We're back to the same place they were last lap. Eric's running a really defensive line. Brandon dives down on the inside, hits on the brakes late, and does make the pass. But, man, Eric is all over the back of him going through the infield section. We'll see if he can hold him off. Eric gets a great jump out of the infield here. This is like a triple hairpin. I mean, it's one of the most intense infield sections in motorsports. I mean, you're going hairpin right, hairpin left, and then a sweeper to the right. I mean, it's just intense. It's quite the racing circuit. A lot of excitement out here. Oh, I didn't even talk about it. We get 28 laps in this contest. We are on lap number 8. Bottom of the screen, I got my little lap counter. It's got a little red stripe over the top of it. That is the lap counter. 28 laps, full race. We're on lap number 8. Morgan Teggy out in front. 1.4 seconds now out of DRS range. That move he made, that was like, I believe we'll call that magic. That was beautiful. Definitely the best move of the race so far. Just unbelievable. All All right, second place is going to be Luke Peters. Let's see if I get these right. Morgan is Rust Belt Racing. He's out front. Luke Peters is Eric Heater Motorsports. In the second spot, watching him now. Chris Springer in the 56. He is running for Harry Lama Racing. And he has currently the third position. 2.5 seconds back from Luke Peters. He is running some very quick laps. Chris is really pouring it on. And Morgan is also just stretching it out. He got that 1.5 second lead, and now has got it out to 2.2. But Luke is not going to give up. I've watched Luke race all season long, and I'm telling you what, he is not one to back off. But quickest lap of the race here so far, Chris Springer with a 136.7. A couple drivers right there with him with 136.8s, but man, last lap, 136.9 for Chris. Quickest on the track at the moment. Making small gains on the leader. Chris, I believe, is third in the points championship. Let's go look. Hey, I've got all that stuff right here. Come on, website. Help me out here. Chris is third in the points championship behind Christian Bishop, who is off today. Thanks for tuning in, Christian, by the way. Thanks for being out here on the stream. You need to bring all your buddies because right now you're solo. You're running all by yourself out there on the stream. You've only sent me 2 messages to talk about, so you got to give me a little more. Help me out, buddy. Give me some more. Gimme. That's me. I need. All right. Morgan Teggy second in the points championship. First in this race out front by the gap of 2 seconds, followed by Luke Peters. Chris Springer, Brandon Dooley in the other Harry Lama Racing car is holding off. Well, not anymore. Will Edwards just takes the spot. Josh Lowe now on him. And Eric Heater is in the pits. Eric Heater has gone in the pits on lap 8. That's early in the pit. Now, maybe he had the soft tires. Maybe he's going to run the soft hard combo. Don't know. But Brandon has now dropped behind Will Edwards. Will Edwards in the 888 has now taken P4 away. And these guys are both running on the medium compound tires, so they're pretty equal so far on the tires. But Brandon will have some DRS help down this front stretch. See if he can use it to his advantage. Everybody in the top has started on the yellow tire. I do not know what happened to Eric Heater. He is 28. I do not see him on track. I think something may have happened to our last week's winner, Eric Heater. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Will Edwards in P4. Brandon Dooley in P5 in chase. And right behind him is Josh Lowe in the 18 car. These guys all right together on the racetrack. You could throw a blanket over him. Josh was in the lead briefly on lap 1, got by Morgan just for a moment, and then spun. These guys both with DRS. Josh going to try to dive down on the inside as they turn into turn 12. He's done this before, and it didn't work out for him. But it looks like he's making this one work, although Brandon is right there, right behind him. We'll see if he can hold that as he goes slightly wide going through turn 13. Brandon up along the outside, going into 15 around the outside of that hairpin, and then it goes right back to the right. Brandon with the advantage gets back in front of Josh Lowe. Nice move there. Josh out in the front for a minute of the pair, taking P5 away and then giving it right back to Brandon Dooley. These guys, quite the racers. I know these guys have raced with them for a while. These guys are very competitive. You will not get anything off of these guys. Now this is, as you can see, Josh with DRS, Brandon blocking on the inside, Josh going around the outside, trying to do the over-under, cuts down in. Oh, but Brandon cuts him off, does a great move on that corner, taking the inside and outside lines away, and he stays ahead of Josh, pulling away now by 0.6 of a second. He needs to pull that up to a second if he wants to keep out of DRS zone, or Josh is going to just come charging back down that long straightaway. Speaking of charging back, we better go up front because it is hot and it is on. As Luke has gained now back to 0.8 of a second behind the leader. Luke back in DRS zone over Morgan. These guys are running on lap 11 of 28. They're going to probably want to get close to lap, I'd say lap 18, maybe 19 before they pit. Maybe even 20 on these mediums. Can they go that far? Will the lap times hold up? I don't know. Can't tell you. The quickest laps right now are in the 136s. We'll see where they are now. Fastest laps are the 136.3. Luke Peters has pulled that away from Chris Springer. Now he has the fastest lap. And he also, I think, has DRS, but I didn't see the wing open. So he may not have got it that time. Morgan holding him off for now. 0.7 the gap. Fastest car through the speed trap tonight, Brandon Dooley, who, Will Edwards just lost 2 spots. Josh Lowe goes into the pits. Oh, we need to find out what's going on. What's going on back there in the back? Josh in the pit lane. Brandon in front of Will by a lot. Let's see what happened. Okay, replay guy. Do your worst. Well, here it is. Replay guy found it. He found it quickly. Will Edwards. You push and push and push, and as he comes around the corner here, pushes a little too soon, a little too hard, and around it goes. Bonk into the wall, and there goes Brandon right on by, as Josh dives into the pits. Back to live action. Morgan stretching it back out, 1.5 seconds. The lead over Luke Peters. Chris Springer from that outside front row starting spot went back to 9th, pulled back up into 3rd here. So Chris having a great run. That's Brandon's teammate. Brandon also having a good run. Now you can see Josh Lowe change from the mediums to the hards. On lap 11, Josh Lowe, he goes in the pits, changes tires. That is his stop, and he will be done for the rest of the race. He will not need tires for the remainder of the race, running the hard compound tires. Now, depending on how he runs, if he has any incidents or any problems, maybe he will change tires, but right now, he has what he needs. So, you have to watch the gap. You have to keep an eye on what's going on as we go look at Josh Lowe. He's on his outlap right now. Eric Heater is not on track. I think these guys have retired. Don't think these guys have stayed out here. Nope. They've retired. They've given up the ghost. But Josh Lowe, you can see now on the bottom right as he crosses the start-finish line, his pit time was 25 seconds. This is kind of important. This is where the strategy comes in, and this plays critical. The one thing I also have to remind you is he is running on the white compound tire. On the screen it shows the yellows, but I promise he's on the whites. The little display on the top right on the standing screen, that is correct. He is on the whites. iRacing has this glitch where it doesn't show the right tire compound on the tire change in Formula One for some reason, and I don't know why. But that's the case. All 10 cars still on the racetrack right now are all on the lead lap. We are on lap 13. Well, the leader's on 14. Brandon comes in to get his tire change. Now it looks like that might be the way to go. It might be yellows to whites. That might be the way to do it. Let's see what happens with Brandon as he goes through. Our quickest driver of the night. As he goes to whites, and away he goes. There it is. 1 lap later, Brandon Dooley comes in and switches from the yellows to the whites. He's on the hard compound tire 2 laps later. My apologies. There it is on the screen. Making a liar out of me. He pit on lap 14, Josh on lap 12. And the tires went 11 and 13 laps, respectively. So Brandon, with his stop, comes out in P6, a couple seconds, 9 seconds back of Kelly Bishop. Kelly has not yet made his stop. Now, that's why it's important to remember that it takes about 25 seconds to get tires. Because if he's within 25 seconds, which he is of 4th place, only 16.5-second gap, then Brandon will jump back into 4th position. This is why it's important to get a really clean pit stop, because even though you don't all pit at once, your times make a difference on the gap when you come back out. Right now, he is gaining on Kelly Bishop, pulling that lead down, that gap back down to 8.5 seconds. So, but he's got Josh Lowe right behind him, who's got a little bit warmer tires. Now, it does take a couple laps to warm up the hard tires. Josh's tires are pretty warm at this point. Josh is gaining on him. This will be definitely for position. Let's see if Brandon can get those tires warmed up and stay out in front of him. Keep that over 1 second gap to keep that DRS at bay. Speaking of DRS, let's go back up to the front as Morgan Teggy and Luke Peters go toe-to-toe. Just down the front, that long straightaway, and I believe, yep, he does. Luke with the DRS, you can see the wing wide open. Getting that extra horsepower down the straightaway, extra speed. Closing that gap to 0.7 of a second on Morgan Teggy, who is still in the lead of this contest. 15 laps in, we're past halfway. Luke wants it bad. Morgan wants it bad. We'll see who wants it more. It's going to take a clean, smooth, calculated ride today. Good, clean pit stops, good strategy. Get those correct tires on the car at the correct time. Will Morgan go in? Will he get will they go to the hards? Will they wait until late in the race? Can they go an extra 6 or so laps? Can they get those softs on for the finish? We'll see what compound works the best. Brandon and Josh have already thrown in their cards. They have gone to the hard compound tire. As we see Skyler coming out in P10 on the racetrack now. And he has gone to the whites as well. All right, let's go through the field. 88 up front, Morgan Teggy. We've been talking about him quite a bit tonight. Luke Peters right behind, only 0.4 of a second. This is a great battle. This is just an epic Formula One battle. This is how they should be. Within a second, he'll have 0.3 of a second coming around the corner, nose to tail. He'll have DRS here coming down this straightaway. This looks like he's close enough. I'm going to predict he's going to have enough room here to get by with that DRS open. Don't think Morgan can do anything about it. Oh, he blocks the inside. Luke around the outside. Does he have enough room? They make room for each other, get through the corner. And Luke makes the pass on lap 16. I don't think you'll see Morgan giving much of that up, and Morgan's going to get DRS as Luke a slight bobble, allowing Morgan to pull in within 0.3 of a second as they go through the infield hairpins. Coming around the start-finish line, how long will they go? How long will they run on these medium compound tires? Will they go far enough? This is definitely going to be a DRS area for Morgan, but he's 0.7 back. Not going to be enough to catch him here. But he will close the gap. All right, so Luke out front, Morgan in second, Chris, then Will Edwards in the 888 still going. Kelly Bishop in the 69 car. He is in P5 tonight. But Brandon is gaining. Brandon with now, was that the fastest lap of the race for Brandon Dooley? I believe it was. He's on the white compound tires, has thrown the new tires on, and Brandon is hauling. He is out there throwing them down, and he is caught. He's cut that lead from Kelly down to 5.5 seconds, and he is still closing that down. Now Kelly and Will still have to pit. So that is going to put them back a little farther. Now, right behind Brandon, although not as close as he was just under 2 seconds back. But now Josh Lowe in P7 is 4 seconds behind and trying to hang with. But with that 25 seconds, remember, 25 seconds will put him up into 4th. With Brandon going with him, it should be a pretty interesting exchange when these other front runners come in to get their pit stops. Andrew Dijon coming in late on us tonight, but out here running laps. He is currently on the lead lap. 9 of the 10 drivers are on the lead lap, and that is only because Skyler has pit and the leaders haven't. But here's Andrew running in P8 tonight. Let's see if I can find. I don't know if Andrew has registered one of our teams. Let's see if I can find him. Going through the, I'm going to have the Statman look at it right now. Hey, Statman, does Andrew race on a team? The Statman comes back and says, no, he doesn't. He is solo out there. Running a good race tonight. A minute off the leader. Still on the lead lap. Has not yet pit. Running those medium compound tires. Now, what I see and what I predict here is that your leaders, even though they're only a half second apart right now, they are going to switch to the soft compound tires to finish this up. Todd Schwartz looks like he started on the hard compound tires, and he is out there kicking it. He is in 9th place right now in the 420. Todd, part of They've Gone Plaid racing team. Sean Williams, his compadre, is not with him. Todd does all the paints, but you can't do a whole lot with these W12s, so he's done his best. Car looks great. Bright pink and teal, or sky blue, whatever you want to call that color blue. Looks good. Todd running on the lead lap, just 30 seconds off the lead. Luke Peters and Morgan Teggy have come in. Todd dives in as well as Morgan is in the pit lane and getting tires. We'll see if they show us there. Oh, look at that. Is that Luke Peters on the softs? That was. There they go. Morgan and Luke on the soft compound tires for this finish. Luke gets a great jump out of the pits. I'm not sure how he got such a gap. They were half a second going in, and he has got a 5-second lead coming out. So really good pit exchange there by Luke Peters. As we see, Morgan Teggy now has the fastest time through the speed trap down right before they get to the braking point in turn 12. So Morgan taking advantage of that DRS. Getting some quick times out there. And I believe he also has the fastest lap of the race. But we'll see. There's the tire compounds. 18 laps each for all 3 of the leaders on the red or yellow compound tires. They're going to reds. Can they last this long? That's going to be 9 laps, 10 laps, 10 laps. It'll be 10 laps on the softs. Can they hold out for 10? We'll see. We're going to find out. Will that be the strategy? The top 3 drivers are trying it. So I'm guessing everybody thinks that's going to be the one to do, because that's where they're at. We were almost through the field, too. We almost made it all the way through the field. We got Skyler Vickery. We didn't talk about him. We talked about Todd Schwartz just as he came in the pits. But here's Skyler, running his fastest lap of the race just after his tire compound change to those hard compound tires. So those hard compound tires are working pretty good. You know, Brandon had them working pretty well. Everyone has come in. All 3 of the leaders came in at the same time. Luke, Morgan, and Chris all switched from the medium compound tires to the soft compound tires. Brandon is running the hard compound tire, along with Josh Lowe in 4th and 5th. Will they have an advantage come the end of the race with those hard compound tires? The hards are going to last a lot longer. But what you've got now is you've got light fuel, you've got fresh tires, and you've got fast cars. We've got Luke, Morgan, and Chris out there, and they will be running the fastest laps of the race now. So let's go back up front and watch these guys go. Luke Peters with a 5.1 second lead over second place Morgan Teggy. Oh, and just to stab it in a little deeper and cut that knife a little more. As Luke catches up with lap traffic, he catches up with Skylar Vickery, and he gets DRS going down the long straight from it. So just a slight gain for Luke. Luke's going to want this. Morgan is going to try to get it back and steal it back from him. Not sure how. They had a 5-second gap there on the pit exchange. We'll have to talk to him post-race and see if they can figure out what happened. But that one was brutal for Morgan. That may have been the decider of this race. We'll see if Morgan can get there. They've both got soft compounds on. They're both running about the same times on the laps. 4.8, 4.6 seconds is the gap. And if Morgan pushes the tires too hard to catch him, he's probably not going to have anything left to pass. But there's plenty of time left. There's 8 laps to go in the contest as they just go through the S's here. Turns 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very treacherous. Those yellow curbs that you can see as they go by and catch those apexes will just destroy your race car. Good thing they got damaged, healing turned on. Healing damage. All right. Well, we had a few people out here watching with us. Thanks for kicking in and watching with me. There's been a couple people out here with us, but I don't have any comments. I don't know who's out there. Tell me where you are. Tell me who you are. Thanks for watching. Bigg Wizurd TV, this is Ron. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys being on the air with me. We've got Procraft Formula 1 Racing, and it is a hot one. Luke Peters out front. Morgan Teggy followed by Chris Springer. Now, these lap times have tumbled. Now that they're running those soft compound tires, they were running 136s, and now they're in the 134s. Chris Springer, the 134.3. Chris is in third spot, trying to gain ground, but he is 9.3 seconds off the lead. That is going to take a miracle with 6.5 laps to go. The leader coming around across the start-finish line now. That puts us at 6 laps to go. Chris does have a lap car here. He might be able to take advantage somewhere, but it's probably not going to catch him at the right part of the racetrack to get by down that long straight. But that would give him a benefit if he can get the DRS down the long straight. We'll have to find out how that works out. As we are on lap 22, Luke Peters out front, followed by Morgan Teggy, Chris Springer, Brandon Dooley. But the race here is up front. 10 seconds the gap between the top 3, and then a 22-second gap back to Brandon, then to Josh and Will Edwards, Kelly Bishop in 7th, Andrew DeJean, and Skylar Vickery in the 9th place, with Todd Schwartz a lap down, and Skylar a lap down in 9th and 10th. Chris catching a lap car here, and he will actually get the benefit of the DRS. Oh, no, he doesn't. He did not get the benefit of DRS. I don't know how in the world he didn't get that. He should have, but he didn't get it. You can get the DRS benefit off of a lap down car. Did not happen for him today. Here's his teammate, Brandon Dooley, in P4. He's running those white compound tires. Is he gaining on the leaders? 25 seconds to his teammate right now. And Brandon is not running in the 134s like the leaders are. Hey, it's Adam Novotny, buddy! And Rex-a-lot. What's going on, guys? Hey, man, I'm glad you guys showed up for the race. This has been a great one. Luke Peters, Morgan Teggy out front, battling door to wheel. Adam in the Utah zone. Dude, you got to swing up here about 200 miles, man. Swing up here north. I'm here in Utah, too. About 200 miles north of you, buddy. Come on up. There's an Air Force base right here. You could probably just fly up, land right at the Air Force base, and jump over and see me. You're like an Air Force guy, right? Man, glad you guys could tune in. Thanks for joining. Rex-a-lot. Love it, man. Love it. Utters, what happened, man? What happened? You were out there? You were running? You died, all right. Tell us what happened out there. This track is tough. I'll bet it was the racetrack. As Will Edwards. Oh, we got a change for position. Talking to you guys, not paying attention to the race. Will Edwards gets by Josh Lowe for P5. Let's see if Replay Man can catch that. Give it to me, Replay Man. Give it to me, buddy. Here's the action as we watch Will Edwards chasing down Josh Lowe. Now Will is on the soft compound tires and Josh on those hards. So they switched tire compounds. Will with a great run. There it is, that great run off turn 11. Or off the start-finish line straight. Right there off turn 20. He gets DRS going down the straight and up the hill, and that is easy. That's textbook right there. Nice pass. Oh, out of the park. That sucks, man. That sucks. Yeah, when you get T-boned out, you know, healing damage only works if you stay on the racetrack, right? So, no bueno there. As we are trying to keep up with what's going on the racetrack. All three of the leaders, 18 laps on the mediums, switched over to the softs. The softs seem like the way to go. Will Edwards did the same strategy. He just got by Josh Lowe last lap and is pulling away 1.4 seconds the gap already. So it looks like the medium soft was the way to go. Top three all picked it. The problem is they're all running the same lap times. Everybody running the same lap times. Luke, Morgan, and Chris just about dead on. 134s, 6s, 3s, 8s, fastest laps. Really flying out there. Last lap, all in the 134, 135 range, all within a second of each other. The gaps are not going down. This looks like the way it's going to happen. Luke got by right before the pit exchange, and it looks like Morgan is not going to be able to gain back that space to get it back. Now back in the field. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Josh Lowe, Kelly Bishop. Nope, he's clear. Thought they were close going into the hairpin, but not close enough. Yeah, tough run there, Heater. Eric, I mean, you guys, you know, I didn't say it enough last week, Eric. You guys, you were the class of the field last week. You ran into to Long Beach with that historic F1 car, and I'll tell you what, I think if Mario Andretti himself could have learned something from you last week. I mean, that was amazing what you were doing. That was really cool to watch. Sorry to hear that you got punted out of the park. Once you get punted out, you have to tow back to the pits. And here at this racetrack, it's usually 2.5 to 3 minutes. That really wipes you out. So I understand why dropping out. Nobody else has really had a big problem since then. I'm not sure you could have caught anybody, but it would have been fun to watch you out here anyway. Adam, early flight tomorrow. Well, I'm glad you made it to the stream to watch us for a few minutes at least. Thanks for tuning in. Rex a lot. Appreciate you being out here. I'm not sure if that's one of our drivers out here tonight, but I know you've been on the stream with me before, so appreciate you tuning in. Tulsa, huh? Big old OK, the Okieville. Yeah, Tulsa's a great town. I've been there a few times myself. I work with tribal casinos in my regular day job, and Tulsa does have a couple of those. There might be a few. I'm not sure if there's maybe like 80 or 90, but there's at least more than 2. Great place, though. Love Tulsa. Love that town. A lot of good food. Man, the food's good in Tulsa. I was just over in Kansas City just this week, a couple days ago. And, you know, I think Oklahoma and Kansas City, Tulsa specifically, Tulsa and Kansas City are going to battle it out for the best barbecue I've ever had. Both of those towns have had amazing barbecue in them. None of that store brand, you know, side of the road stuff. You know, I'm talking the good stuff, the good high quality stuff you get at those restaurants you guys have over there. Awesome food, awesome food. All right, Luke Peters out in the front still. Man, I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Morgan has gained a second, but that's it. We're on lap 26. Luke in charge, large and in charge as he comes up on Andrew Jajan. He'll be putting him a lap down. We've got 2 to go. This time by at the stripe. Eric, you got to be happy about that. I mean, your teammate throwing it down. Rex, holy cow. How did I know that Rex was Rex. I had no idea. Rex, I am so stoked that you're on the stream, man. That's so cool. I hope everything's going well for you. I see you out there on Facebook every once in a while. We met in Wendover. Dude, we lived in Wendover. Wendover was our home. Well, it was. No longer for me. I'm pretty sure you moved out of there too, so good luck. And glad you got out of there. Oh, Rex, you were out. I think you were here with me last week on the stream, man. That's awesome. Thanks for tuning in, dude. Appreciate it. All right. Let's see. Boy, we got 2 to go. Not even 2 full laps to go. Luke is going to... He's got this. This is Luke's race. Morgan is gaining, but he is running out of time. 3.3 seconds. He's a lurker. Yeah. All right. Good. It's good to have stalkers. I like it. Let's see. Morgan in second spot, running some laps. Chris Springer still putting down that fastest lap of the race. Chris is just hauling. But again, not enough. Gained 3 seconds on the leader, but it's just not enough. The time is running out. Luke going through the infield hairpins now as Chris enters that section of the racetrack. We have just one more time around. Luke out front. Eric, I'm guessing this is your rooting for your teammate, I would suppose. I would hope so. Luke across the line one more time around the circuit of the Americas. This track definitely too tough to tame. This thing is just wild. If you haven't had the opportunity to race this racetrack, either in iRacing or even another game, you can really get the feeling. But iRacing does it well, does it justice on this racetrack. It is really tough to drive. And let me see if I can get... I need to jump down into the booth here. I forgot it. Gonna have to have that here for post-race. As here he goes down the long stretch for the last time. Morgan has caught him, but still 2.9 seconds the gap. Luke is just managing the gap at this point. Gonna take it around through these last infield hairpins one more time. As this is for the win. His second win of the season. Would have liked to have Christian out here to throw a battle with him, but Christian was not in town today. He's suffering down there at COTA in Tulsa watching the race. Or not Tulsa. Sorry, Tulsa guys. Rex a lot. Sorry, man. I didn't mean that. He's in Austin. Final corner. He goes. Luke Peters across the line for the win. And there it is. Morgan Teggy is going to have to settle unhappily for second place. Chris Springer takes in third spot. As we watch the last of the drivers come across here. Will Edwards is going to come across in fourth. This is Skylar Vickery. He's in ninth. He's a lap down coming across the last turn now. And Will Edwards holding off Brandon Dooley. This is for fourth spot. Will managed to get by Brandon and Josh with those soft tires in the second 10 laps of the race. That worked out really well for him. Will comes across in P4, Brandon in P5 as they finish up their race. Josh Lowe went to those hard compound tires after the pit stop. He went in early, and looks like that compound did not work, that combination, as Josh finishes up in P6. Kelly Bishop with a 7th place finish. Top 10 for Kelly. Everybody here finishing up gets a top 10. Andrew DeJean in the 96, already gone by. Skylar Vickery and Todd Schwartz finishes it up. That was a great one. That was an awesome race. Hope you guys enjoyed the broadcast. It was fun to broadcast it. Why are these guys not on track? They're supposed to be coming around for their victory picture. Come on, guys. You're supposed to do the picture thing. Morgan jumped off the racetrack too soon. So we're not going to get our 3-car picture at the start-finish line. Let's see if I can catch somebody in the booth. Let's see. Luke is up here by himself. Hey, Luke, this is Ron in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, pretty good.
Thought I'd jump up and see you. Great win tonight, man. That was some awesome strategy. How did you gain 5 seconds on the pit exchange? What did you do? Did you put like lightning tires on?
So Morgan spun out on the pit entry. I looked in my mirror and he's facing backwards. So yeah, that's because I think it was gonna be a pretty good battle.
Yeah, he was quick there at the finish. He was really fast gaining on you. But
yeah, he was.
Yeah, not quite enough. Not quite enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't pushing as much there at the end. I just wanted to get the, not wreck and just finish the race. So I wasn't trying to do anything crazy there.
Well, it was awesome to watch. You guys put on a great show. I figured he had some problem going into the pits because that he came in. He was half a second behind you going in, and came out 5 seconds back. So it was definitely a little disadvantage there.
Yeah.
Advantage Luke, right?
Yeah.
Eric Heater Racing 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, nice job. Yeah, congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Hey, I'm here. This is Ron in the booth. Bigg Wizurd TV in the house. I got second place and third place in here with me. Morgan, what in the world happened, man?
Gotta talk about it offline.
We'll talk about it another time. Yeah, you guys were all right together. The first half of the race was just back and forth. Great watching that, and then pit exchange didn't work out well for you. So, I think
definitely lost it going into the pits.
Yeah.
I think I just caught too many downshifts, but really that was the only mistake I made the entire race. But that is what it is.
Yeah, it's all it takes. I was thinking maybe you were going to get your first one tonight, but not in the cards. There's always next week, right?
Indeed.
And Chris, fastest lap of the race, dude. You were flying.
Yeah, couldn't put it all together when it counted, though. I really stepped on it on that start. Caught me off guard. The candle's going.
Drop back to ninth. Yeah, drop back to ninth. But you pulled it right back up on the podium for the finish. Good job, man. It was a great race for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know the start wasn't what you wanted, but to be able to pull that back together, and you were only about 7 seconds off the lead. Now I think the last couple of laps he was kind of easing off just to make sure he made it through without a problem. But coming out of the pits, I think you were 10 seconds back, and you held that the whole time through. So you were running great laps. It was a good race.
Yep, maybe I can put it together here one of these races and get on that top step.
Yeah, that was fun. It was fun to watch. Brandon, P5 for you. It was a pretty good run.
Yeah, I made way too many mistakes. Unfortunately, I think Eric got tangled up in one of them when I spun through the S's, and it must have launched him into a direct toe, and I think he quit from there. So apologies for that, for spinning right in front of him. But yeah, it came down to a tire strategy there at the end between myself and Will Edwards. He was on softs and I was on hards after spinning a couple times on the mediums.
Right.
They were destroyed early, so my only option was to go to the hard and just try to limp it to the end. But he caught me with a couple laps to go there, and just nothing I could do. I had it in attack mode, and it still wasn't going to match a DRS with soft. So
right. He had a great jump off the corner on you there I think it was the front stretch he got you on.
Yeah, it was inevitable with the different tires and stuff like that, and him getting DRS. But
yeah. Well, don't feel bad. But don't feel bad. He did it to Josh Lowe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. It's a good race, everybody. Todd, nice run for you out there. Saw you out there a few times. Nice looking paint. Always looking good out there in the 420.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
How you doing?
You had your teammate online. He he stayed up late because he's got to get up for an early flight tomorrow, but he stayed up late to watch the race. So Adam was out there checking things out.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's good to talk to all you guys. It was a really great race to broadcast. I hope you guys can watch it back and when you get time and enjoy it. So it was a good one.
Thanks, Ron.
Yep, I'm gonna head down to the booth. So it was good talking to everybody. Congrats on the podiums. Let's try that top step next week, huh? Later, guys. Yeah, later. All right. Well, that was nice to drop in with the top 3 and a couple other drivers. We have finished and concluded our race here at Circuit of the Americas with the Procraft Formula 1 Series. Luke Peters takes top honors and takes this one checkered flag first. Great tire strategy, great racing, clean the whole way through, no mistakes, and that's what it took. One bobble and 5 seconds was all the difference between first and second. As always, finishing up our broadcast here on Bigg Wizurd TV, do not race on the road. Be safe out there. Go home to your loved ones. Bob in the hospital getting his leg fixed. Hope everything goes well there, buddy. Hope everything goes well for you. But be safe out there. Do not race on the road. Don't drive like a crazy man. If you want to do that, go to a racetrack and race on a racetrack. If you don't have a racetrack, race with us. iRacing.com. Go to 2leagues.com and check us out. We've got Procraft Formula 1 and East to West racing with GT cars, GT3s and GT4s. Lots of fun racing. It was great seeing you guys out here on the broadcast. Stop in every week, every time. Bring some friends. Bring some friends of friends. I don't care. We'll talk to them. But good to have everybody out here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, see you later.